In Los Angeles in 2003, Debbie Dunn and Peter Coleman spent an evening playing poker with another couple. After the game, they ended up having sex and spent the night together at Debbie's house. The next day, Peter called Debbie and told her that he was not looking for a relationship because he was unpredictable. Jack has a medical condition, and his medication costs $1,000 per month. Her insurance will only cover it for another 6 months, so she needs a better paying job to afford it. On Peter's birthday, Debbie calls him, and they talk about their lives. She tells him that she is going to New York soon to complete an accounting program. This program will help her qualify for a higher paying job, which she desperately needs. While in New York, she will be staying at Peter's apartment. Debbie's ex-husband's girlfriend, Scarlett, was supposed to watch Jack for the week while Debbie was in New York. But at the last minute, Scarlett got a 2-week acting job in Vancouver and cancelled. Debbie panicked because she didn't want to leave Jack alone. Seeing how stressed she was, Peter offered to fly to Los Angeles and take care of Jack while she was away. Peter knew that Debbie was nervous about leaving Jack, and he joked that her parenting style was like Saran wrap, because she was always hovering over him. Debbie was very protective of Jack. She even told him which friends he should hang out with at school. Jack, now a teenager, often felt suffocated by her rules. One of the people in Debbie's life was Zen, her easygoing gardener, who had a relaxed and carefree attitude, very different from Debbie's. Meanwhile, Peter was dealing with his own problems. He had been dating his girlfriend, Becca, for 6 months, but she had never met Debbie. Becca was starting to feel uncomfortable with how much time Peter spent talking to Debbie on the phone. She asked Peter if she was wasting her time with him, but when he hesitated to answer, she decided to leave. Peter, who worked as a marketing consultant, had just finished a contract, so he was between jobs. With nothing keeping him in New York at the moment, he packed his bags and headed to Los Angeles to help Debbie and Jack. When Peter arrives in California, he quickly realizes how strict Debbie is as a parent. She controls nearly every aspect of Jack's life, telling him which friends to hang out with, setting strict rules about screen time, and even banning takeout food at home. Jack isn't allowed to watch TV while eating, and homework always comes first. Peter also discovers that Jack loves hockey, but Debbie won't let him play because she thinks it's too dangerous. Jack can't play basketball because he's allergic to the gym, and he can't play baseball because he's allergic to grass. Hockey is the only sport he's interested in, but Debbie refuses to let him join a team. Determined to help Jack break out of his shell, Peter decides to give him a taste of freedom. He gets skybox tickets to a Los Angeles Kings game and encourages Jack to invite 2 classmates, hoping it will help him make friends. However, the plan backfires when the classmates ignore Jack during the game, making him feel even more left out. During his time in California, Peter also gets to know Zen, Debbie's laid-back gardener. To Peter's surprise, Zen isn't just a gardener, he's actually a wealthy man who made his fortune from a tech buyout. He only does landscaping as a hobby, which Peter finds both amusing and impressive. As the days pass, Peter continues to push Jack out of his comfort zone while also realizing just how much control Debbie has over her son's life. While Peter is in California with Jack, Debbie arrives in New York and starts her accounting classes. One evening, she has an unexpected encounter with Minka, Peter's ex-girlfriend. Minka had come to Peter's apartment for a casual hookup, but instead, she found Debbie there. Rather than being awkward, Minka invites Debbie out for drinks, and Debbie, wanting to unwind, agrees. At the bar, Minka encourages Debbie to let loose and even helps her catch the attention of Theo Martin, a book publisher from Duncan Press. When Theo starts a conversation, Debbie excitedly tells him that she has read every book ever published by Duncan Press. Impressed by her knowledge, Theo enjoys talking with her. During their conversation, Minka casually drops a bombshell: Peter has written a novel. Debbie is stunned. Peter never mentioned anything about writing a book, even though they had been best friends for 20 years. Curiosity gets the best of her, and she manages to get her hands on the manuscript. She stays up all night reading it and is completely blown away by how good it is. Determined to help Peter, Debbie decides to take a bold step. The next day, she meets Theo again and pretends to be an editor. She passionately pitches Peter's novel, doing everything she can to convince Theo to give it a chance. Theo is intrigued by her enthusiasm and agrees to read it. As they talk, Debbie learns that Theo is also divorced and has a 13-year-old son, just like her. They bond over their similar lives, and Theo is genuinely interested in both the book and Debbie. After reading Peter's manuscript, Theo is impressed and tells Debbie that he wants to meet the author. As Peter spends more time with Jack, their bond grows strong. Meanwhile, in New York, Debbie continues attending her accounting classes and goes on a date with Theo. The evening goes well, and they end up spending the night together. However, while at Theo's apartment, Debbie accidentally triggers Peter's remote security camera. Peter, back in Los Angeles, sees the footage of Debbie and Theo together. Shocked and disturbed, he leaves the house and goes to a bar. There, he runs into an old girlfriend. Though she is interested in rekindling something, Peter realizes that he can't go through with it. He finally admits to himself, he is in love with Debbie. On Debbie's last day in New York, she passes her final exam, securing the qualification she came for. While packing her things at Peter's apartment, she stumbles upon a box filled with old mementos, small keepsakes that Peter has secretly saved over the years, all connected to her. She realizes that Peter has always cared about her more deeply than she ever knew. Later, Debbie meets Theo, who excitedly tells her that he has secured her an interview with a major publishing house. He also expresses his desire to continue seeing her. But now, with everything she has learned, Debbie knows the truth. She tells Theo that she is in love with someone else. Back in Los Angeles, Jack's hockey tryout does not go as planned. He struggles on the ice, and at one point, he takes a hard fall and gets injured. Though it's nothing serious, Peter immediately calls Debbie to let her know. However, instead of being grateful, Debbie is furious. She yells at Peter for putting Jack in danger, despite Peter insisting that Jack is okay. Jack, on the other hand, is thrilled, he made the team. He begs his mother not to be mad at Peter because he had the best week of his life with him. Still overwhelmed with worry, Debbie cuts her trip short and rushes home. Before leaving, she calls Peter and tells him to be gone before she arrives. Peter, hurt but understanding, starts packing his things. However, fate has other plans. At LAX, just as Debbie steps off her flight, she and Peter run into each other. The tension between them is thick, and they immediately start arguing. Debbie is still angry about Jack, while Peter is frustrated that she refuses to see how much he cares. In the middle of their heated exchange, Peter suddenly confesses, he is in love with her. Stunned, Debbie stops yelling. After a long pause, she drops her guard, and they kiss right there in the airport. 6 months later, their lives look very different. Peter is now a published author, finally achieving his dream. He has moved in with Debbie, and their relationship is stronger than ever. Debbie has also made a career change. She is now working as an editor at an indie publishing house, doing what she always wanted. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.